trade above. But the key thing is you definitely want to see us be able to hold over 239. That'll be a key indicator and foreshadow for us for maybe a move higher. But as long as we're pretty much into this area, if we can't get above this 239 area, look for maybe a move to the low of 237.60-ish area, which we had yesterday. And we actually spoke about this move to 238 when we had the morning meeting. This said even more than likely, if we do shoot to the bottom of 238 area, more than likely won't be able to hold below. And the key thing is if we are to hold below, you have to understand what the characteristics are of a weak stock or weak index. And characteristics are is that you have strong impulsive moves and very shallow pullbacks, okay? So it shouldn't take back previous consolidation area. That's very important for you to understand characteristics of strong stocks or indexes. When a stock or index is strong, and characteristics when stock or index is extremely weak. Okay, and that's the key thing, and also just the bigger theme and what's going on in the market season. If you go to the Russell, the IWM, one thing I just wanted to point out here, if you have an hourly trend line right here, we're bucking right into that hourly trend line right here. And just one thing I want to you guys pay attention to, if you go to the daily, the 138 area, as you can see where we really couldn't hold above right here for most of March, this 138-ish area right here, we're coming right into the support area. So that's one thing to look out for. And if we do break this trend line, possibly today is Thursday, election is Sunday. So after today, we really have one more trading day until the election. So I'm expecting maybe sideways action as well. But definitely just understand that we're into this, or we're just coming right into the support area in this previous area from right here and the end of April before we gapped up and made that high. So again, just be prepared for the unexpected, but expected, I should say. So also the Qs. Again, as you can see here, the strongest index still out of all of them. And can you go to the hourly for me, please, Jackie? Key thing for us right now is to really watch this 136.60-ish area right here through yesterday's low. I think that'll be most important for us to watch here. If we can't hold this area, you can look for us to pull somewhere to this 135.80-ish area, 136, and then below that possibly 135 area. But if we do have any type of hold above 137.50, definitely look for strength. If we're gonna hold, if you're gonna see one index holding over the previous highs and expecting strength, make sure you're checking the other indexes. You'll have confirmation if all the other indexes are trending higher and above those resistance areas and holding, okay? So that's the key thing you definitely want to look for if we're gonna have real market trend day to the upside. But if we have inside day, meaning that if we stay within the first hour's range, you're going to see a lot of chop. We should make sure that you're really sticking to your stocks that are in play, or you're making support and resistance trades on your market stocks if you want to, if you choose to do so. But if we do have a market day where we do trend, you want to make sure that you're looking at your market stocks as well, and you have your checklist, your watch list, and your stocks you've been looking at from previous resistance areas that, if they break, they should move from there, and previous support areas, if they do break lower, they will move from those areas. Okay, oils, gold.
Okay, if I could just jump in here.
Please jump in. Please jump in.
For those who are attending, this is Brett Steenbarger. Just a couple of observations about the general indexes before we turn to oil. Two things. One is you can see it's a rotational environment. Look at what SPY is doing. Look at what NASDAQ is doing. Look at what the small caps are doing. Take a look within the S&P. Look at what the energy stocks are doing. The technical term we use for this is shitting the bed. There are other sectors like technology that are doing quite well. Okay, so this is a rotational environment. Something's strong, something's weak. This is not a general trending environment. Yesterday, across the NYSE, we had 77 new annual highs, 52, I think it was, new lows, annual lows. Okay, so that shows that some stuff is strong, some stuff is weak. So that's the first thing. Second thing, real quickly, look at volumes. Look at volumes for SPY. Okay, look at volatility. The VIX is below 11. Volumes in SPY on a daily basis in the 60 millions, 50 million, 70 millions, well sub 100 million. Volume is as low as whale shit. And we know where whale shit is, bottom of the ocean. Right? I'm always this creative early in the morning. but so what happens with low volume? We have low volatility. Moves tend to not extend. So we want to be realistic about taking profits, realistic about how far things can move if we don't see volumes building. And that ends my creativity for the morning.
I hope not.
I hope not. Okay.
I hope
Good.
not.
Good.
I hope not. So Jack, I'm going to let you start off with oil. What do you see in oil?
So also one more thing I noticed is probably White House going to do a healthcare vote today. I saw it last night on CNBC News. So definitely pay attention to that.
Okay.
Together, crude oil is looking very weak this morning. My target is 47. I mean, my level is 47. That's a really important level. So if we can fail from here, we're definitely going to have some continuation to the downside. My first target is 46. Below those, just not looking good. 43 or something like that.
Definitely. So there's key things that we really want to look for. So what do you think you should be looking for if we do hold below this previous support area? What do you think? What should you be looking for? What do you want to see?
I do want to see a pop, so I can just like a pullback, not a pop, like a shallow pullback, so I can have something to trade against.
Okay. Okay.
That's my season.
All right. So then what if you don't get that? What if we just have a sharp move to the downside? What is the game plan then? What if we have an impulsive move down to there?
If we set up like any type of small pullback, something like that, I'll have like a tier there, and then short my whole position against 47.
Okay. So another question for you: What are there any other energy names that you are following?
Mainly is this. Besides that, SWN. This one Gary mentioned this morning. Really like the setup. Here's all-time low, probably. Yep. Not quite, but 52 weeks low. So that's definitely a stock I would like to watch.
Right, because this is a good catalyst, for the stock to break from this area. Because when we see these long consolidation areas, we usually need some type of catalyst to break it outside of these areas, right?
Yep.
And if we're trading below these prices, this is probably, as far as day traders, is a trade to the downside versus short. This is a positive catalyst for us. And that may not be for the company itself, but for us, it creates hopefully volume, as Dr. S was talking about, some volatility and movement to the downside on this one, an opportunity. So you want to make sure that you have your list, the stocks that you're watching along with the index and what you expect in here.
So the purple line is crude oil price, and you can see follows the crude oil price very nice. So definitely a good stock.
And you can see even on this day right here, if you're looking at last Friday, crude oil didn't move that much. You see all the weakness in the actual stock. So you can see that there's definitely weakness in here. And if we do have real weakness in oil today, this is probably something will move. Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Jared.
I know. Well, another thing to mention about this SWN to be aware of if you're going to trade it is that it's natural gas company too, so it tends to follow natural gas as much, if not more, than crude oil. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm looking at Square today. One of my ideas, SQ. You're gapping up to new highs. You have some pre-market levels to look at, and I mean this is a pretty liquid stock, so I just think it's a good kind of trading vehicle that's in my wheelhouse. So that's one of the reasons I'm looking at it. The other reason is because it's at new highs. So we have some good levels to work off of. 19, 17, 18, and 19.
This is pretty good. Okay. You see that on the weekly? And you can see we've coming from this base right here on the weekly. Okay. But what I want to actually talk about before we get further into you guys' ideas, Want to talk about some of the bigger names, the bigger ideas really quickly, okay? So something like Facebook, right? So we have on Facebook, right? We have multiple upgrades from tier 1 banks on this one. What is a slight miss on revs, but we had a beat on earnings. The monthly users are up, daily users are up over 17% each one of them. Okay, and multiple upgrades on this one. So key things that definitely want to look for on this one, and then also to mention, when you're looking at these stocks with earnings, you want to look at the previous 4 to 5 high volume days on the chart and maybe possibly see how it traded based on that news. So previously, we've been seeing Facebook to have maybe average intraday range of $4 to $5 with this type of move. Okay, as far as earnings or high volume or whatever catalyst. So you can definitely expect today for it to have a $4 to $5 move, maybe significantly higher, or lower. But key things I really want you guys to pay attention to today for as far as resistance. Let's see here is this 151, like 70-ish to 50-ish area right into here. Because as you can see, if you go to the hourly for me, please, you can see it correlates right into this area right here where we were trying to hold for earnings. So if there's any type of pop into this area, it's possible that it could fail into this area. If it starts to hold above this area, you can definitely see this possibly trending higher, maybe somewhere to this 153.50-ish area right into here. So what you want to do is just be prepared if we do pop into this area, there can possibly be some rejection here. So you want to take note of the volume that it does right on the open. If it's going sideways, it does have to move higher. If there's price rejection into this area, if there isn't price rejection that's really holding this area, you could definitely see possibly a move higher in this today. As far as support, if you go to the 1 minute for me, please. One thing I want to point out is this 149 area from the pre-market right here. This is the pre-market low, okay? And it feels like if we do, come down to this area, come slightly into it or close to this area, and it's starting to push away. As you can see here, Jackie, if you can just draw, a trend line for me right here, please, that'd be great. Thank you so much. You can see we're bucking right into this trend line. So let's see if if it does hold this area and possibly trade up, into here, into some resistance. The key thing we definitely want to look out for this 149-ish area right here, 148. Okay. As you can see, right into the aftermarket yesterday, this is the price level where we held. We didn't see as much volume into this area. A bulk of the volume is done into this price band right here. So this, I think, will be more important today for us than actually down here, but we'll definitely want to pay attention to this area. Okay. And below this 148 area, if we can't hold this area, we can see maybe a slight support right into here, this 146.80-ish area to 147. And then below that, this 145.70-ish area. We do have a low 145.45, but the really is just a wick down to this area, but this as far as support. So these are the key levels I think for today that will definitely be in play. So pay attention for them. Look for the volume, look for the rejections, look for because remember these stocks they talk to you just for you to listen. Okay. I mean by listening is they might tell you either it's by price rejection or by volume. You have to understand that these stocks talk to you and they give you clues and they give you hints. Okay, just for you to pick up on them and understand what hints it's actually giving you. Okay.
If I could just jump in with another point about what the stock is talking to me about. I always thought I was just hearing voices, but but then I started taking my medication. But we were taking a look at what is strong in the market. Which of the indexes was the strongest? Okay, NASDAQ. Okay, technology, XLK sector. Which one's been weak? Things like the defensive stocks, the utilities, and the consumer staples, the energy. But the growth areas have been strong, okay? So when you look at a Facebook, you want to compare how is it trading relative to NASDAQ? How is it trading relative to XLK? If it's showing relative strength and it's in a strong sector, then that might be a pretty good candidate for buying if it can hold those levels that you're identifying.
All right, and then we'll roll really quickly to Tesla. I want you guys to favorite stock just to understand. You know, a lot of people, when you talk about Tesla, they talk about, you know, what it is. If you actually, you know, one thing, I'm gonna keep it very short. If you actually listen to Elon Musk's conference calls, he's not concerned about the here and now. He's more forward thinking. A lot of people, the reason why the stock is trading at this price is that people believe in him and his dream. Because if you look at the amount of cars that, you know, is actually sold, it's not worth the actual valuation of the company itself. If you really look at it, you know, on the books, it's a lot of people believe in his dream and his forward thinking. You know, we might, you know, they ask him questions about this quarter. He's not really concerned about the quarter. He's more forward thinking. A lot of people believe in his dreams. So just want to put that out there. You know, they did miss the earnings, but they did beat on revs. Just key things I really want to point out for this morning is the 307.30-ish area right here. 307. Yeah, right there, perfect. So these are pre-market highs for this morning. As you can see, we had a little bit of a struggle holding over this area into the aftermarket yesterday, and we're right back failing into this area again. So if you do have any type of resistance into this area today or this morning, you can definitely see a failure and maybe a move into this area right here. Thank you, Jackie. Right here where my pen is. Yep. Thank you, right here. Perfect. So what you want to see is if we do come down to this area, if we can hold and bounce higher and then reclaim this 330 area, maybe trade from here. If we can hold this area and it's just maybe profit taking coming into this, you can see here that will take out this 301. Below there, the 301 area, you can definitely see 295. And if you go to the hourly really quick, if we don't hold this 301 area, we can definitely see it hold somewhere into this 295 area itself. Okay, and as far as for resistance, if we do hold over 307.30, you can see it's moving over to this 310 area right here, and beyond the 310 area, we can see it's moving into this 314 area right into here. Okay, so just keep an eye on that, and just remember if you're trading Tesla, look at the last, 20 to 30, 2 or 3 minute bars so you can understand what risk, what your actual risk is on the trade because the spread opens up on this a lot. Also, VIAB. This is another one looking at. If you look at the daily on this one, everything in the sector got beat up yesterday. But if you look at the actual earnings on the stock, revs on the stock, they beat by like about 38% on the numbers. This was just a sector. It took the sector took a big hit yesterday. But as far as the earnings, everything's great. The conference call started around 8:30. If you go to the 1 minute really quickly, please. You can see here that we continue to trend lower. Conference call should be done right as the market opens. If you go to the weekly, if we get any pop into this area, as you can see here, the 35, I really like this support area. It's a beautiful support area. As I said again, the entire sector yesterday got beat up. It was a part of the sector. News is great on the stock. Everything's really good on the stock. A lot of people pounded on the stock. If you do get any type of pull into this area, I do like a base. If it can hold base and turn in reverse higher, I definitely think that's a good support area. I'm just going to run through your ideas really quickly. Stephen, what do you got?
Just BRSK, it's going in a 3-year low. It's really weakly yesterday. Tried to reclaim support, the whole number at 77. Gonna get back up there. So I'm gonna look to try to short it today. If you look on maybe the 3-year, 3-week, or the 3-year weekly, it's not the best, but there is a little bit, maybe 5 out of 10 level. So, I'll see, just what happens. Try to get short, pretty close for continuation. But, I'm open-minded if it wants to go back up. But yeah, 77, I think it was 76, 75, and then low day at 76.50 is what I've been watching.
Okay. Ricky, what do you got?
Good on the one square on the opening, data on the opening.
Okay, data. Okay, that's another one I like also. Sorry, I didn't get to run through a lot of these with you. What's your plan with data really quick?
I would not like to tell you that I have a plan. I just want to watch it. I think there ought to be something I can learn from the tape on this stock. I'm not overly bullish on the news. Price action is very bullish. It's at all-time highs, I believe.
Not at all-time highs.
It's not all-time
It's
highs.
actually got a very weak, like, long-term chart. You go out to the weekly.
Oh, I got 62 as all-time highs. Is that incorrect? Oh, wow. Not even close.
So definitely what you should be looking for in this, the stock really, if it's really strong, you can pull into possibly the 60s area, turn higher, or just open up and hold these highs. We've been seeing some of these stocks that do gap outside of these resistance areas with positive news. We've been seeing them gapping up, holding that gap. If they hold that gap the first 20, 30 minutes, it's either it's a high probability to either go sideways or it's an upside once it breaks from that resistance area. So keep an eye on that. We have 2 minutes to go. I'm sorry. I didn't get to run through a lot of stuff with you guys today. I still have a list of stuff. So please, I'll be in the chat. Good luck trading today. Be patient and wait for your setups. Biggest thing, remember, be a sniper. 7 trades. Remember, 7 trades.
2 or 4 trades.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important, and how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.